Okay,
Go.
good morning. Good morning. Thursday, January 23rd. So we got earnings, big earnings week next week, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
It's a wacky Wednesday. Today's theological Thursday, where you pray to your gods that your options expire in the money on Friday.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Oh
I
my God.
I mean if you are doing those zero dated options, then yeah.
Yeah, like it's like one DTEs today and then zero DTEs tomorrow. The
Yeah.
whole point of getting the zero DTE is you wait till tomorrow when the options are super cheap, and then you just try to, it doesn't cost you much money for a lottery ticket in case it swings the other way.
That is
But
true.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, let's get started with the indices.
Yeah, I see D&W says smells like opportunity, boys. And for some things, yeah. I mean, other things, it's just doing the same thing it has been the whole week. For example, IWM, right? There's no change with IWM today. From Tuesday to today, it gapped up above the 786 right here, and it went to the conversion line, got rejected, and now it's still in that same range. So this 226.74 is the level I'm watching for the rest of the week, and nothing else really matters. Just keep staying above it because it was a previous resistance. So I want to see it flip to support. QQQ, this is coming down a little bit, but it's not a surprise after 3% last week, almost 2% this week so far. So yeah, it's getting close to previous all-time highs. So maybe it needs to come down a little bit more before trying to break free to this 548 above. And the SPY, it's basically unchanged, right? Down 41 cents, no big deal. But it could do the same thing because it's approaching previous all-time highs. So I'm not sure if the week is going to close above it. So perhaps it might need to come down a little bit more before trying to break out. So any kind of consolidation for the SPY, QQQ, or even IWM here is understandable because things had a great week last week. They had a good follow through the first couple of days of trading here, and so just relax. Everything is gonna be okay.
It's right. Remember, if the longer it just goes sideways, the stronger the move up when it does go up.
Yeah, and I do see why are so many people talking about a crypto bear market starting and comparing it
Huh,
to
what?
Lithuania. I don't know. Like, let's just take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin here, and it's the same thing as everything else, right? It's trying to break free of resistance, but it cannot, right? This is why I look at weekly candles. It's telling the story, guys. It's trying to get above this 103,611, but it can't. So if it can't do it, then it's going to keep retesting support, and that's exactly what it's doing now. Even on the daily chart, you can see that it may be time to come back down to maybe the baseline here, 99,260, right? So, yeah, but in the meantime, it really looks like this $100,000 zone, whether it goes to 99, 98, or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the same zone, and it feels like it does want to keep building a base on top of this 100,000 zone. Whether it's a little bit above, a little bit below, it doesn't matter to me because this is bullish, right? Really, really bullish for the future. And I think eventually, once it starts flipping this 103,611 to support, then I think it's going to go to 130, right?
Hey Matt,
That's
let's
what's going to
let's
happen.
let's remind our audience how the Ichimoku baseline works. Right? It does. It's an average. Well, I mean, it does a look back. What 29 periods of
26.
26 periods,
Yeah.
and it just looks at the
Well,
highest
it
high and
takes
the lowest
the,
low across that
yeah,
period.
the lowest point right here would be on the January 13th, and the highest point would be here. So that just add those together, divided by two, and that's how the baseline works. So it's a
And
very
so
simple average, but it works very, very nicely.
as long as it's not making significant, lots of significant lower lows, the baseline instead it's just making higher highs, and so the baseline keeps rising, meaning that
Yeah.
the average base of where support is keeps moving higher, and that's all. If you just look at the baseline on this chart on any of these uh, charts, that's what it does. It just keeps moving higher and then goes sideways for a little bit, goes higher, and goes sideways. We had a little dip in whatever that has a 13 under it, but we're back up again.
Yeah.
So just relax. Conversion line
Like
over the baseline is bullish.
I've never understood why people start to freak out at support. I never understood that. I mean, I guess when I first started trading, I would do the same thing, right? It's just a normal thing to do, an emotional thing where you
It's
can't.
because they spent so much time, not knowing how the market worked beforehand, and the
Yeah.
last thing they would see before a huge crash is they would see a couple of red candles as it goes down, and the next thing you look, it's like that meme, right, where there's just like this red candle that goes through the floor like alien blood acid, and
Yeah.
but it can have two red candles and then two green candles. It's fine. It doesn't.
Yeah.
A couple of red candles doesn't always mean it's going down. It just means it's testing
Yeah.
support.
It's just testing support over and over again. And actually, when things are at support or near support, people don't want them anymore. And actually, Kat and I were talking about this the other day. But ASTS, like everybody used to talk about it all the time. And now that it's basically at support or it hits support of the blue level of the GAN and even almost the 886 down there, and nobody talks about it anymore, right? They don't want it. They wanted it all. They wanted it all during this time right here, all the way down, all the way down, and now they don't. They don't even ask about it anymore because they don't want it. But I mean, it's like if now I'm actually interested in ASTS. Like, if it comes down a little bit more, maybe I'll get some because it's down pre-market around the 1886, right?
I think I'm
So
going to buy
this
some of
is
these too.
yeah, I think, and this is also matching with the blue level of the blue level of the arc there, the 886, and there is even more support down below in the 16s too. So now pre-market, I'm like, this is actually looking interesting. See, I didn't care about it all over here. I didn't even touch it, but now I'm really considering it. So just something to consider, guys. Like people always want to talk about charts that are doing this and then they want to buy up here, but then they never want to see the opportunities down here. So just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, I thought that was interesting that we don't get any requests about it anymore. And now that it's down even more pre-market, it's probably even more scary to most people. But now I see it as a support, right? I see it as a
Yeah,
support.
like your 886. I love it.
Yeah.
I raced it back yesterday. I think I'm going to buy ASTS Space Mobile with it today.
Yeah. I don't even know why it's down. Did they have some important stuff to talk about?
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Yes. Oh, cool. Click on your
offering
little.
400 million in convertible.
No, here they go.
400 million in
Yeah,
convertible
perfect.
senior
Perfect.
notes due. Yeah.
They don't want to take
Whatever.
the inertia out of it. They wait until it's going down already before they announce those.
Yeah. So we'll
All
see.
right.
We'll see what happens to it. But this is finally a zone I'm interested in. This. So we'll see. We'll see if I take some action today or not. I'm not sure yet, but we'll find out. But anyways,
Moving average 75. So yeah, well, as you hinted, next week is a big week for a certain stock that we really like. Would you like to
is
start with
that the
that?
Tesla?
The Tesla. You have earnings next week on Wednesday after market close.
And how dare it be green pre-market after freaking people out at 413 overnight the whole time? How dare them? This is not okay. But Tesla. What can I say about Tesla? Just the daily chart, it means nothing to me. Like I said before, it's been doing the same thing for the past week. The same range between the daily conversion line and it's still in that range. So nothing has changed for me. What about you, Tracker? It's just it could go down to low 400s. It could break above, but for me, it's just the same range.
Could you can show my screen and I'll show you what I think about Tesla in the shorter term here. For one thing, we still have the max pain. Oh, I was going to look at it again real quick. Give me 1 second. I've got the max pain right here. I just have to hit the refresh button. And I don't want that stuff. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's still the same. 415. So I just take a quick screenshot of this to there. And then come back to my chart where you guys can see it. Nope, this one here. So here's the max pain for the week in options. This are all the ones with a strike on this Friday, and you've got an overlap of puts with calls. When there's an overlap where you can see the red puts and the green calls subducting one another, then this usually means that it's going to stick pretty well. If there's not much overlap, then it can swing either way really, really freely. But there's enough overlap here. I'd say 415 is going to stick pretty well this week. And so do look for 415 for Max Payne this week. And all it has to do is nothing, right? We're already at 416 here just on Thursday. All it has to do is just go up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, just undulate, right? Because it can't just go sideways. Tesla will never just go sideways unless you're talking about a range that's about $10 sideways up and down. So I've got my little tracking triangle on top of this. I tracked this triangle. It got out, tested back down to it. And then what did it do? It formed a new triangle, which also tested back down to it. So this is kind of starting to look like one of these melt over patterns. So it'll probably make a higher low somewhere here next week. Let's see, where is the next Friday rate? Or here's earnings rate. Boom, there's earnings. So this is kind of what I'm hoping. I would like to see it kind of lower before earnings, so then it can do the sexy green arrow out of earnings. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't think it's necessarily going to go up higher and higher into next week. If it does, I'd be surprised. And if by Wednesday, if the price was around 435 or so, I'd kind of expect a dip before it went off again. But you can see one other thing is just looking at the patented Mattsby fibs. Let's see, where's the 100? Here's the 100%. This was for like this. Sorry, what does this belong to? Let's put this up here. This is really what I really want to see. All right, this previous high, 470 to this low, 373, and it's trying to get to match 786 here. So it's just sort of stuck. Once it gets over 50%, then it'll ping pong between 50 and 78, over 78.6, and then we can get some new higher highs, like maybe 496, 510. That's what I really want to see. So anyway, for this week, I expect it just to kind of go, like if we look at today and this triangle I've drawn, you can easily see it go from where it was yesterday at 410 and just kind of have it ping up here at about 425, then ping back down here, near the Max Payne by tomorrow close. So there you have it. That's my prognostications for Tesla. There's a terrible color this week. And let's see. I would love to see it a little, maybe not this low next week, but these meltovers do kind of go like that sometimes. So maybe it'll look really scary. Maybe it'll test 400 before, just before the earnings comes out. Because everyone, I keep hearing people say they're expecting bad earnings, but I think they keep thinking about the cars and they're not thinking about energy or AI or robots or anything like that. So remember, the forward guidance is often historical, and then the other to the report. All right, that's it. That's my exhaustive Tesla preview. So,
Okay, I see a request for one crypto here. I'll jump on that. Zeus Network and then SOL Strategies. I don't think that's a crypto, but we'll see here. Zeus is looking like it's trying to get back into the daily cloud, but it's failing. So the 100-day moving average never got hit. So that could be the target there at 54 cents. When you look at the weekly chart, though, it is holding baseline, and that's at 57. So maybe it won't get to that 54 as long as this baseline holds. So I think the Ichimoku kind of just tells the story. And also, if you just did like a quick Fibonacci retrace there, it's kind of holding that 702 level right now. So it does look like it's trying to flip a previous resistance zone to a support. So I think as long as like the 57 cent zone holds, it'll go higher, right? That's what I think of Zeus. And if I do SOL Strategies, I think that's a weird ticker, right? Yeah, CYFRF. Yeah. So
Oh
Soul
wow.
Strategies, we can see that it is looking like it's trying to break above this arc, right? It's really trying to maybe flip some levels to a support. It actually did close above the blue level of McGann last week, and with follow through. So this is usually a good indicator that possibly this zone can be support now, maybe from the 320s up to the 380s. Could be a support zone now. So if that is a support zone, then the next levels are possible, which is 1730. So that is something that got to pay attention to. Looks like a pretty bullish chart from the low down here back in 2020. So we'll see. We'll see if it can actually maintain above this zone here from the 380s down to the 320s as support.
So 320 is that horizontal line?
Yeah, that's about 325. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I had one more thing I wanted to say about Tesla. If you pop back over, and then I'll do ASML. I forgot to mention, if you look at the weekly chart, weekly candlesticks, and the MCDX Plus, the whales versus retail indicator, it's been nothing but institutional buying in whales, just completely pushing out retail for weeks and weeks and weeks. I only see like 3 weeks ago a little hint of green, but by and large, it's mostly just been institutional traders outpacing everyone else in retail. So remember, this is a very bullish chart. No matter what Tesla does over the next 4 sessions before earnings report, the greater risk is that's going to push higher, not that it's ever going to go lower. And that's all I want to say about Tesla. Remember, it's super bullish. And then ASML, I've got the chart right here. This is really great. Based off of my Fibonacci extension from the all-time low of 237 to the all-time high of 895, and then back to the 363 higher low that it hit here in October of 2023. Yep. It's made it to the 764 and a little bit over, and it came down to the 382 and a little bit under, but now it's gotten back on top of the 382 as support here at 7449, and it's heading back up. So I would predict, I am predicting, this chart predicts, it's going to head for the 1382 next, $1,500, almost $1,600. That is 1598.05. So, and of course, this will have 5 waves on the way up there. I can't tell you exactly what they'll be, but let's see. This is probably the after hours. Something like this, right? Once I get this 1-2, I can predict the rest of the pattern. But for now, I just have to guess at it, and it kind of looks like, based on this cell block and this cell block, I'm going to guess it's going to look just like this. So look for 1045-ish next. Yep. Maybe back to the 618 actually. Anyway, ASML is just going higher. So if you don't have any of it and you really want it, let's see, how high is it going to go? From where price is right where it closed yesterday to that 1382, that's 108%. So you can use that to compare it to some of your other concerns and decide, is this a good place to put a lot of your money, or maybe it's a little of your money? 108% is pretty decent, but it might take a while to get there. In fact, this is a year, or more than a year, 427 days, based on this hyperbolic line that I've got drawn so far, which doesn't have a lot of data to go on, but that's pretty good, these 2 points. So anyway, 100% every year, it's up to you to decide how you want to play that. And back to you, Matt.
All right. Yeah. Let's see what's going on here.
Ethereum. Somebody Hawk says, "Can you please chart Ethereum if you have a chance?"
Yeah, I see an AVAX too and Ethereum. Yeah, I'll just go back to more crypto here. So let's see from AVAX. So AVAX right here, we can see that it's basically in a range, a really tight range between kind of the 200 and the 50-week moving average and the 34s. and the top of the cloud now, which is a 37. So it's really just battling this. It's also battling that 50% level there, the 35.58. So it's just stuck, right? But this is a really good thing too, because they flip it to a support too. So this is okay. Let's just watch this 35.58. Let's watch the 37. Just continue to try to build a base on top of these zones here and go higher. So nothing bad about that one. Ethereum, when we go to the Ethereum chart, everybody hates it, but it's not that bad, right? It's on top of the weekly cloud now, right? Barely, but in the weeks to come, it'll be on top. It's on top of this important 1.272 fib extension to the 30.95, and it's on top of the 50-week moving average. So lots of confluence, and the baseline's there too. So this is just a big breakout, got rejected by previous highs over here back in March, and it came back poor. So just it's lagging behind a lot of the other coins, the dinosaur coins, but I guess it's just taking some time. But it's not bearish. It's not bearish at all. Yeah.
Very cool.
And I
could do another one. I'm drawing my Ethereum chart, Gann chart for the very first time.
Well, while you do that, I can just. Somebody asked about.
That's what I said. Go ahead and do another one.
BitFarms. Somebody asked about BitFarms if they should like sell it or rotate it or whatever. I mean, it's basically on top of support right now. So if you're selling it, I think you're selling it really in a support zone, because this 160 has been basically building a base on top of it. Even back in May 2024, it hit it as support, wicked below, and it's been closing all these weekly candles above it ever since then. So if you're giving up, then you're capitulating at support, which is what a lot of people do, and rotate it into what, right? You didn't even give an option, so I don't even know. Like something else, some other miner, maybe, but they're all basically at support zones themselves too. So it's just a matter of what you want to do. But a lot of people that give up at things at support, they soon regret it later because they bounce, right? And they bounce pretty good aggressively. And we've seen this before. Like the last time it was down here in May, it bounced really aggressively, right? And when it was down there again in August, it bounced aggressively again. There was even in 1 week, it went up. This from the bottom to the top. What was that range? Yeah, it went up like 40% or so, right? And we could see something similar soon, right? That's kind of been the trend. Go back down in the zone, bounce pretty aggressively. Go back in this zone, bounce aggressively, and so on and so forth. So I'm just kind of waiting for that aggressive bounce. And then if you want to take some off the table, then possibly. But there is a lot of resistance up here in this zone, maybe in the $2 to the $2.25 zone, which I can see possible to get back to in the shorter time. So I think just it's a patience game, right? I actually started buying BitFarms on the way down, and maybe I'll just accumulate a little bit more because I don't hate it, right? It's just lagging behind as well.
Very cool. I've dipped just a little insight on Ethereum to say that it looks really bullish on the logarithmic chart. Obviously, crypto, but I kind of took this arrow line from the beginning through this point right here for my 45-degree angle, and I just pulled some fibs on it. And so this one went to the 764, and then back to the 382. So the 1382 is next. Oops. It's going to take some time to get there, but 161,000 is where this goes next from these fibs. That's crazy. That is not the right true one was. Yeah. I mean, that's not a lot. Just to give you an example of how this chart goes. Yeah. If Ethereum continues its momentum, it's going to go really crazy high. All right, that wasn't really useful. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. I just wanted to plan. I didn't know what I'm doing this morning. OMX30, is that a crypto? Oh, sure. Sweden Index 30 Index Futures Fund. All right, let me just do this real quick. I can do this really fast. Linear scale. Never seen this before. Here is a nice place for a 1-2, AB 1-2. Now let's take it back here. So this went 123.6, 618. Let's say this goes to the 2618. Over here. Oh, see again. But yeah, I see this thing going higher. It's just going to take. So if I do a smaller fib, because everyone wants to know what's going to happen in the sooner term.
Yeah, it looks like it's breaking out.
$764. Oh, but see, it could retrace. No, it kind of did. It did 618. No. It's the. It's at a place where it's either going to break out or it might retrace a little bit.
It's at a
It
very
can go higher to
important place.
27. Yeah, this is that. It's either going to go to 710 next. Oh, I hate that one. Let's do this one. Or it's going to have to test back down to 47. Man, I know what's going on in Sweden, but let's hope for the best. Let's hope it just goes a little higher.
Yeah.
And if it gets to 123.6, it'll test back down to probably here to get the support again.
Yeah, let's see how this week closes. The candle first, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, let me just jump on to, let's see. I have a MicroStrategy chart here ready for everybody, and it's going down pre-market, and we can see it's finally back above that conversion line again, which is at 364, and price is a little bit above it right now pre-market. So this is good, right? This is a good development where it opened up high, went back down almost to retest it yesterday, down in the 367s. I think overnight it went a little bit lower. But this is a good thing, guys. This is a very good thing, healthy thing, and I want to see it close above the 364.98. So I do like MicroStrategy. I think being on top of all the support once again, it's once again above all indicators on my chart, which is a fabulous thing for MicroStrategy. So I think it's only a matter of time now before it wants to go back towards the 420s, the 430s, and 440s and higher. And with Coinbase here, same situation. It's a bullish chart, and it's trying to even hold this conversion line right there as support, the 295. It did wick down quite a bit yesterday, but then it actually closed the day back above. And then if we look at the daily chart here, it's actually still trying to maintain this 50-day moving average there at 291.55. So I think that's the level I'll be watching today, just to see if it actually wants to maintain it throughout the day. And if it does, then I think it's going higher towards the 318 and beyond. And I still have this feeling that it wants to go to all-time highs maybe in the next few months or so.
All right. I've got the Vuzix Corporation, VUZI. Again, I've never seen this one before. This one's brand new to me. But I just put Matt's retracement fibs back to when it was 606 here, and it did this long downtrend and bottomed out at 85 cents. And then right after that, it tried to get over the 786 again, but it got rejected by the 886, came down to the 618. Actually, it came down to, well, this is a wild candle that it had. Once again, it tried to do kind of a blow off maybe, but it came back to the 382 held right here, the 382, 284. So I think it wants to test the 786 again. That might send it back down to any one of these fibs, really. Let's just say it's a 618, and then it can get back over the 786. And then it'll probably hang out there, go to 127, build a base there, 141, test back to 100, and then make some new higher highs. So there you go. That's my estimate for Vuzix Corporation. And overall, this thing's just at a larger degree retrace. So if it can really make a new higher high than here, then it's going to get really bullish. You can see the MCDX Plus says that institutional buying has returned to this stock. And so eventually it's just going to want to get back to retracing this all-time high. So this might not be a bad place to start a position, because even if it just retraces, to this much, that's 2,000%. Even if it retraces So it's already retracing towards that one. So that's 935%. To this one, that's 1500%. These are the, oh wait, I'm sorry, we're here now. Sorry. It's 183% to the top of the next test, and then 338% of the next one after that. So, and if it goes to the all-time high, that's a return of 775%. So again, yeah, this is the kind of thing I like to put a little money in, and then see if it doesn't turn into a lot of money. So there you go, Vuzi. You can take your screenshot. I guess I should hold this over a little bit, and then you can take a screenshot. Right there. All right, screenshot.
Yeah.
DNW says he wants to change my name to Sexy
Sexy
Green.
Green, yeah. I see some requests. NVIDIA. Yeah, I already did NVIDIA yesterday. It's just in a range, like 140, 152. It's just in that range, so there's no change for me. But I'll do VST here, and it's extended. It's really extended, and it makes me worried if you're interested in buying a stock like this, just because it could easily retrace down to the 160s or 130s and trap a lot of people. So what we can do, though, is maybe look at the daily chart and see what this fib level is currently from the high to the low, and it is actually trying to hold this 186.90 as a support. So perhaps if that continues to hold, then it doesn't need to go lower. But as you can see, even on the daily chart, there's the 180, there's the 173, there's so below as support. So if you're not in it already, I think it's just a risky game. It's a quick way to just be gambling, because at this point it can go 190s, or it could come back down to the 180s or below. So this is something that I never do. I don't like to chase these things.
All right, I got ERJ here, Embraer SA on the New York Stock Exchange. This is one actually I can tell you with definition, with definitiveness, it's going to go to 44.94. My wave starts way back here at 396. Up to 1940, then back down to 823 for the. Actually, wait, did I hit that right? I just want to make sure this is correct to the penny. No, to 791. And so, all right, 44.62 is what's going right. It's wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and you can see it started the wave 5 and then it fell back down again. But that was pretty scary. And now it's in 5 subways up, and yeah, 44.62 is where I see this going to next. 123 didn't quite get to the 100%. Just be careful; it could top out at 42.37. I know I said with definitiveness, but just be cautious. If it gets over 42.37, it's going to go to 44.62. If it falls lower than if it closes this gap and falls lower than 38.73, it's over, and then it's a 3 wave retrace. So in fact, let me just give you a what if that's the top, if it already hit the top, then your retrace will look like 382, 236, 618, right to there, and you can kind of see there's the moving average 75 is already there. I'll bet it's gonna go just a little. Oops! I'll bet it's gonna go just a little higher. Oops, not that one. Here, I'm trying to get this right to where you can. All right, take your screenshot. But yeah, if it can get over, if it can make a little higher high, then it can go to 44.62. But this thing's almost done before it's going to do its retrace. What else we got? Oh my god!
I see. Yeah, somebody asked if I have a GAN for NNE, and no GAN. You don't need one right now, just because it's battling previous all-time highs, and so that is the zone to break above the 37.51. If it can bust above it, flip it to support, then it's going higher. Otherwise, it might retrace back down to the low 30s down here to retest the 886 or so. So it is going down a little bit pre-market. So that's right now it's an obvious rejection of this zone. So you don't really need to know anything else, just a previous all-time high trying to break free. And so far it is not succeeding. So there you go.
Oh man, I got D-Dog on tap, and this is fun. This is a chart I drew previously, so let's see how I did. It looks like obviously I hit the one. I had this is my wave one, this is my wave two, and this is when I drew the chart. Because after that, oh, it made an extended wire flat and made a lower two. Let's see how I did on the fibs. I was trying to do this and that. That looks pretty good for that. So that didn't change, but the wave two, it went from 100%, came all the way down to the 382. Oh, this is too thick. And then it went all the way up to the 1618 for the wave three. And so now we're in wave four. And the 100% is exactly where you would want it to go for. So this is actually a really good time to get more D-Dog, I would say. Falls over again. Where it falls over will probably be a high or low. So you can make some money just to watch and see what happens. You'll probably resist the Ichimoku weekly conversion line here in blue at first, about 152. But if it just keeps going, then let's see. This should actually go to the 100, 1618. Gosh, I want to call it the 2618, but let's be cautious. Now let's just go with the 2382. So 212.82 is where I would conservatively say this is going to next. And the bottom's in at 134.49. There you go. I like it. Oh, how far is this? What kind of profit could we make off of this? Where price is right now to 212.82. It's a 52% increase. All right, there you go. D-Dog done.
Yeah, I also think D-Dog is in the bottoming process now too for its higher low. It looks really pretty good for a continuation higher. Yeah, it's just from the all-time high to the low back in December. It's just right underneath the 786, which is at 155. So I would like to see it close above that before any kind of continuation higher. So, but yeah, go ahead and do one more, and then I got to go.
I see the time. Okay, IREN, I've already got it all drawn up here, just as you see. I don't see any need to make any changes from the all-time low of $1.02 to 15.75, and then back to 603. Gives you your wave one, wave two. Now we're in wave three, sub one, sub two. Looks like the sub two is done, and we're in the heart of the wave three. Could this may fall over one more time? I mean, it's already kind of been going sideways a little bit over the last few weeks. These all look like if it was anyway, yeah, just let it let's just let it ride from where price closed yesterday to let's do it for this one. From where price closed yesterday to where I see it going to 24.24. That's a 106% gain. And that's going to happen a lot faster, right? Like compared to that other chart, like Kimber said, they go about 108% in a year. This one's going to go in somewhere between 200 days and 146 days. Probably it could hit the 3 any time in there. So yeah, this one's just a little bit. IREN's a little bit better than that other thing, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was. All right, sorry guys, we're out of time. Can't do any more. But if you're my subscriber, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be include my spreadsheet and more charts. So we'll see you there. All right, thanks, Matt. Thanks for your time today.
Tomorrow. Yeah, thank you. See you tomorrow, Tracker. All right, have a good one.
My show will follow this show. It won't be instead of. All right, see you tomorrow, Matt.
All right, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.